With around 27,000 acres of land, Berry College is the largest campus in the world. However, this title is not the only thing that the land brings to Berry. The land also brings with it history and conflict. The land that surrounds Rome, Georgia originally belonged to the Cherokee, before the state of Georgia claimed the land and redistributed it through a lottery system. Before the lottery, the space of land that is now Berry's campus was generally uninhabited. That changed when Thomas Freeman, a freed slave who had fought in the Civil War, saw its potential.
So somewhere around the 1870s, after being formally discharged from the Army, Thomas Freeman and his brother, perhaps, and his father purchased land, purchased the land that was later to become known as Freemantown.
Freemantown reportedly had a church, a blacksmith shop, farms, and even a school. The property passed down to Thomas Freeman's descendants until it was purchased by Martha Berry.
In the teens, in the 19-teens, after Martha Berry's established the Berry schools, she starts buying up all the land she can get her hands on, including the Freeman land.
From that point on, the land that had once belonged to both the Cherokee and the Freemans became the land of Berry College. And yet, despite the time that has passed since the land belonged to its previous owners, there are conversations occurring today about responsibilities that Berry has toward the people behind its land's history. One such conversation is about Martha Berry herself and her payment for the Freeman land.
The amounts that are on the deeds for African Americans and white people are comparable. But there's some pretty strong feeling among the descendants of the Freemantown families that either the prices weren't fair or they didn't actually get the money.
Cheryl Snipes is a direct descendant of an original Freemantown member. In a phone interview, she said that while there are signatures on deeds and documents, she could not imagine the Freeman community giving up their land. To quote Ms. Snipes, "What looks legal isn't always legal."
There is some indication or argument that Martha Berry used the Great Depression and people's desperation to buy all this land. That's not true for the Freeman family.
Despite differences in opinion, Snipes stated that her current goal is building a relationship with Berry College. She and other descendants of the Freemans have reached out to Berry on these issues, expressing their goals.
To kind of facilitate Berry accepting responsibility for their responsibility in terms of stewardship of the land and its history.
The Freeman community, however, is not alone in wanting Berry to take more responsibility for the history of its land. A similar belief is held by Dr. Michael Bailey, a government professor at Berry,
who a couple of years ago suggested in the campus newspaper that maybe Berry should offer like a scholarship to somebody of Cherokee heritage. And I think he maybe got some pushback from the administration about why are you bringing this up.
These conversations about Berry's responsibilities show that the history of this land is still connected to the school that calls it home today. Cheryl Snipes, for one, appreciates what Berry has done, but when considering Berry's recognition of these parts of its history, stated that, "We still have a lot of work to do." With Viking Fusion News, I'm Ben Ali.